who will outwit, outplay, and outlast all the others to become the sole survivor. The adventure begins with Survivor Zoom.
If it is a physical challenge tomorrow, I think our chances are very good. Like, I don't know what possible matchups.
Tim's gonna be tough.
If it is at all motor functions, we're gonna dominate.
I would definitely crush Mason.
I'm gonna do planks tonight because I don't even know the last time I fucking did one.
Do you think there's a possibility that it's a balance challenge, or is that you think?
I just don't think it's gonna. Just because when you said the thing about the pose, the yoga pose, what was it?
Prone.
Yeah, he said you don't want to be prone or whatever.
You can do a plank for 5 minutes at least, if not longer.
Alex, I feel like might be a little bit of a
Wild
question
card.
mark. Yeah.
I've seen him try.
Like, how many push-ups we're talking?
Al cannot do more
25.
than 14 push-ups. I've seen him try. He can. The max I've ever seen him do is 14, and that's like with me really like pushing him and making fun of him. He can do no more than like 10 pull-ups on a good day. He just started working out, and all he does is jump ropes. I know he's a good arm wrestler, but that doesn't matter. But
Here's my thing, is with planking, you can like sort of cheat sticking your butt up in the air or like just not having good form. And so to me, if I was Dane and I was like judging this, I would want something where like if your hand or foot touches the ground, you're done.
Well, I'll be curious to see who's gone tomorrow.
I don't think this is likely, but Mason and Connor brought up the possibility of what if nobody was voted off.
I wondered about that too. And so did you guys yesterday talk more about possible strategies for the challenge tomorrow or not?
My theory is that it's the plank. Well, the reason the plank doesn't make sense is because it talks about balance.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not really balancing when doing a plank. But I reread it and the clue says, like, finding the balance between body and mind.
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily balancing.
Possibly like balancing on one leg, maybe?
Well, if it's one leg, I'm very confident.
You are?
Yeah.
I truly believe that if it is 100% mind over matter, that I can prevail.
All right, come on in, guys.
Egnaro.
All right, Egnaro, getting your first look at the Invictus tribe. You will notice that nobody was voted out at the last tribal council.
Oh.
So you can agree or disagree with it as much as you want. I'm sure Invictus is happier with that decision than Egnaro is, but I'm also sure that Egnaro was happier with the challenge than Invictus was. So here we are, same two tribes as the last challenge.
I have no doubt that we are the best tribe. So it's like, I want to make sure there's anything that you guys can ever doubt about us. So it's like, let's just, anytime we can clear any doubt, let's do that.
Dang, can you hit us with a come on in, guys?
Yes, I can. I actually do the come on in, guys, before you guys come in, just for the edit. But come on in, guys.
Oh, that's great.
Woo!
Let's get to today's immunity challenge. First things first, Egnaro, I got to take back the immunity idol. We'll delete that out of your Slack.
It's coming right back here, Jeff.
For today's challenge, we will have 3 rounds in which everybody will be balancing on one foot.
All right.
For the first round, it will be 3 minutes and you will be on one leg. For the second round, which is 2 minutes, you're going to be balancing on one leg and holding your foot with both of your hands. And then for the remainder of the challenge, you'll be balancing on the same leg with one hand on one foot and one hand on the other foot until the last person is left standing. The tribe with the last person standing wins. Egnaro, you have 1 extra player, so you will be sitting someone out today. And in addition to immunity, you will also be playing for a reward. Want to know what you're playing for?
Yeah.
Probably one of the most important things in this game, information.
Oh.
This is also an individual immunity challenge. The last person from each tribe will win immunity, and both tribes will be going to tribal council.
Oh shit.
The tribe with the last player standing will get to sit in on the other tribe's tribal council.
Oh my gosh.
All right, everybody get to your positions. Okay, here we go. Survivors ready.
Let's go, Blue.
Legs up, and this challenge is on. Seeing a little bit of flailing right off the bat, but a lot of people rock solid. Not even worried about it. A couple of statues. See some people with yoga mats. We got some shoes, some no shoes. Connor's starting to teeter.
Let it go, Connor. Just get him up now.
Nice recovery.
Oh, yeah, oh.
Big Tech sucking at this challenge just like Russell sucks at the game of Survivor.
An interesting difference here in who's doing what with the other legs. We've got Harry and Jacob with one leg in front. We've got Nick and Alex with their legs behind them. A couple people just floating that foot. Connor's starting to wiggle again. Another nice recovery. Chandler putting it out there like the hokey pokey. Tim's rock solid like a statue. Starting to get some hopping from Bryant. Mason also doing some hopping. Not worried about it at all.
Come on, Blue. Let's focus.
Alex wants to. He can hop too. He wants to show it off. Bailey might as well be a photograph. Hasn't moved the entire time. A little bit of wobbling from Bryant. Alex can't decide if he wants to hold his leg or not.
Starting to hurt.
We've got 30 more seconds in this round before we move to both hands on one foot. Connor's starting to shuffle again.
Connor.
Alex cannot hold it still. Trying to get that blood flowing. Mason hopping. A lot of hopping going on. All right, and here we start to transition. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And everybody should have both hands on one foot. Alex is out of this challenge.
Let's go, Blue.
First member to drop of the Egnaro tribe.
Oh,
Everybody else still in this with 2 hands on 1 foot. Haley's starting to get her hops on, getting back onto the mat.
On Egnaro.
Everybody seemed to recover here after the transition.
You need to wipe sweat off your face.
Invictus with an early lead in this challenge. Can they hold it?
Oh.
And Connor touches the wall, and with that, he's out. 2 members of Egnaro down. We got about 1 minute left in this round.
Come on, Egnaro.
Come on, Tim. Come on, Mason. You got
Bryant hopping around, getting dangerously close to that furniture around him. Make sure he doesn't touch it.
Go, Jacob. You got this, bro. Oh, it's burning. It's burning.
We've got 30 seconds before we go to 1 hand on each foot.
Shouldn't have skipped leg day.
Steve, don't fall down the stairs, bro.
10 seconds. All right, at the end of this countdown, everybody needs to have 1 hand on each foot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Chandler's out of this challenge. Bryant's out of this challenge. Mason's out of this challenge. Oh, Bailey's out of this challenge. It's Harry, Nick, and Jacob and Tim. So we've got 2 Invictus, and Jacob's out of this challenge. That's
Come
it.
on, Tim.
Come on, Tim.
It's Tim. It's down to Tim and Nick, both with the individual immunity, and now it just comes down to who's going to sit in on the other tribal council.
I'm doing this for the team.
Work, Tim. Nick's hopping around.
Come on, Tim.
Connor, you fell out second round, bro. You can't even talk.
Nick, don't listen to him.
Tim,
Don't talk.
mental legend.
Oh, Nick's out. That's a handoff for Nick.
Oh, yeah.
With that,
Yes!
Tim.
Tim, you did it.
Individual
Good job,
immunity
Tim.
for
Good
his
job.
tribe to
Thank
sit in
you.
on Invictus's tribal council.
Dang.
I will say I'm a little upset that even in this victory that one of our tribe has to go home. It's a bitter win. But I'm happy that it's not going to be me tonight.
Good job, Tim.
I'll see both tribes at tribal councils. Nick and Tim, I will send you your individual immunity in a DM via Slack. And for everybody else, somebody from each tribe will be going home at the next tribal council. All right, grab your stuff, head back to camp. Good night.
Bye.
All right.
Just gonna say it. I sucked at that challenge. I thought I was gonna go far, and My foot just started hurting so bad. I put on a shoe. Figured wearing a shoe over barefoot would be better, but disguised myself. First out. I honestly deserve to get voted off, but I'm trying to make some moves. Trying to get Mason off. So, I mean, how could I ever beat Mason in the final? How could anyone beat Mason in the final? So, gotta see if I can save my neck. Let's see if this works.
My first vote that I wanted to go was get Tim off. He's really smart. He would be great at challenges, and he had backstab. But then he won immunity, so the next option really is the only other person in our tribe who wasn't part of the family, which was Alex Henry. Because Alex Henry was great, loving the game, fun to play with, but I did hear that he was trying to get me voted off, so that kind of took my guilt away.
From the family perspective, they were hoping that Tim wouldn't win so that we could vote him out. Ultimately, Tim did win the challenge for our tribe and won immunity for himself, which for me is pretty good because as far as I know, Tim and I are also still working together pretty closely.
I have been building trust with Mason. One stupid mistake of mine is during the very first Zoom, I was talking with Mason and I was talking with Jacob. I sent a message to Jacob saying, I've started an alliance with Mason, but he doesn't know that it's a fake alliance, and I was doing that sort of to build up trust with Jacob, but I accidentally sent it to Mason. So I sent a message to Mason saying that I'm in a fake alliance with Mason, which I thought was gonna completely blow it. I didn't even think to try and recover it. My hope is, because the Zoom chat is a little bit not intuitive, I was looking at Mason's face to see if he would get a reaction, because he had been reacting to my other messages and I didn't quite see anything. So my big hope is that he didn't read it. Excited for Tribal, excited to see if anyone comes to me. Alex hasn't really been talking much at all, and I suspect he hasn't been talking to anyone unless he's just playing a really strategic game right now. I think it's in my best interest to vote out Mason, because he's playing a little harder. I think Alex could be more of a number.
I've already made a Final Four deal with my mom, myself, and Mason. We reached out to and said, hey, we want to take this 6 to the Final 6. Then after that, we intend on going further with you, Mason, and your brother, Chandler. But I think at some point I'm going to need to reach out to Jacob and make the same deal with him and Bailey, because the Mercers will beat us. The Mercers are challenge threats. Everyone loves them. They're going to win no matter who they're sitting next to in the end. That's a move that I'm going to have to make.
I'm feeling mostly confident. Connor is really the only one that I can trust, for sure, 100%. But tonight will let me know that I can trust the other guys too. One thing that bothered me was Bryant calling me out for sitting out of the challenge.
The person who sits out for them is just accepting to go to tribal council without immunity.
Right.
So you guys better be nice to Rhonda, because she's doing you guys a solid.
I mean, someone in our tribe had to sit out, and I felt like he was trying to stir something up. So I didn't care much for that comment.
Surprise, surprise, our tribe lost again. We just cannot seem to really do very well in these challenges, even though we're extremely confident going into it and feel so good and we're really supporting each other and everything, we still lose. And Nick has immunity, which really sucks, because that really throws a wrench into our plan of voting for Harry, but then Nick is plan B. So now really it's down to myself and Bryant is plan B. And then if Harry has an idol, I've heard my name thrown out there, and I know that I've been throwing Bryant's name out there because I don't want me to be plan B.
I told Nick it's Bryant, and for whatever reason he trusts me, based on I don't know what, but it's good. I was on the phone with Bailey, and while I was on the phone with Bailey, who also trusts me, Bryant called me, and I said, Bryant's calling me right now. Let me talk to him, and then I'll call you back. So I'm on the phone with Bryant, and he says, just flat out to me, we should vote for Bailey. And I go, oh, why? And he says, because Jacob's on the other tribe, and they're married. I called Bailey right back and told her, I said, Bryant just told me that the vote's on you, and she was worried. And I said, look, I'm 0% chance I'm writing your name down tomorrow night. Like, I'm gonna hustle. I'm gonna talk to everyone and make sure the vote gets on Bryant tomorrow night. So basically, it's because of the work that I've done, and really the work that I've done. This was my plan. Tomorrow night, the votes will be 4-1, 4 votes for Bryant, 1 vote for Bailey, and Bryant will go home.
So Harry called me immediately after I won immunity and goes, I'm so glad you won it. And I go, I'm so glad I won it too, so I can vote your ass home. And I don't go home because of your snake ass. So tomorrow night should be fun. And I'm not even gonna sweat.
Whew, things are heating up, man. Basically, what I ended up doing was catching Harry in a lie, where he told me, and he has countless times, that he did not donate and he did not receive a clue to the idol. He told Bailey and Nick that he did, and I've shared this information with Bailey and Nick, and they're both shocked by it because they had full-on discussions about it when they were trying to suss out who has the idol. So what I do is I say, okay, we've got to get screenshots from everybody else to make sure that he has it. So I get screenshots from Bailey, Nick, and Bryant. They all send them to me. They're all sending them to me simultaneously without questioning why I'm doing this. So I know that I've seen everyone's but Harry's. Everyone's good but him. So I have him thinking that we're gonna vote for Nick, and I have Nick thinking that I'm voting for Harry, and they're both sending me screenshots of their conversations back and forth. I was having Bryant send me fake texts that I could screenshot and send to Harry. Now this gets tricky because there's a lot of screenshots that exist out there that could have me fried and fertilized for my transgressions against Harry.
So we got tribal council tonight, and who calls me but Bryant, and he says to me, the vote's on Bailey tonight. Excuse me, sir? The fact that anyone besides me and Chandler would think that they're calling any of the shots in this tribe is ridiculous to me. And for you to tell me that a member, that my number 2, obviously Chandler's my number 1, but Bailey's my number 2, that she's going home tonight, you got another thing coming. I can't wait to see the look on Bryant's face tonight when he gets blindsided and all 4 votes from the rest of our tribe are for him. Bye-bye, Bryant. You going home. Wow, pretty brutal blindside tonight. I thought we had it 4-1. Really not sure who flipped. I mean, either Bailey or Chandler. I think I maybe got ahead of myself too much, was playing both sides. That's the game of Survivor. You know, I was trying to pull all the strings and just couldn't hold it down as well as I thought.
Egnaro, your first look at tribal council here, watching Invictus vote out Harry. Surprised?
I'm really surprised. I thought for sure Harry would be tied up in an alliance. And, you know, quite honestly, I was glad to see him go. I think he's a big threat, and I think they were wise to get rid of him when they could.
Yeah, I don't know Harry at all. I've never met him, I don't think. So I was curious to see how well he would do in this game. But
yeah, my only thought was just watching him after that second challenge. He got really upset, and I thought, well, maybe that's a reason that they wouldn't want to keep him around.
That's what I thought, Rhonda. I agree. I was thinking if they maybe didn't like the attitude, maybe that was a reason to vote for someone.
Yeah, for sure, especially if they're trying to stay united as a tribe.
Obviously, not a lot of other information out of that tribal aside from seeing a couple other votes on Bryant as well. That stand out to anybody?
Yeah, clearly Harry and one other person are not in the loop, and it seems like there's a strong alliance beyond that. So
I think they had a strategy of not wanting to give us any information of what's going on in their tribe and wanted to get to the vote immediately.
On that same note, though, it also shed some light the fact that Harry and whoever cast the other vote for Bryant didn't want to speak up means that someone's lying to them. They didn't know that they were on the chopping block.
As a tribe coming out of last night's challenge, how is everybody feeling?
We really had a goal as this tribe to never go to tribal council and to win every challenge. And we have done that. We've won every challenge. But if we had to go to tribal council, I'd rather go on a challenge where we still won.
Yeah, I will say, since we were so used to ending the challenges on such a positive note, you know, typically we're super hyped in the post call, and I feel like the vibes were the lowest they had been in that call. It was sort of just, well, we won, but it's bittersweet. We're going to tribal as well.
It definitely sucks to have to vote someone out of this tribe because we can't lose with this. This is the winning combination right here.
So it was coming out of the challenge last night. Is that where the game turned on for everybody? Was everybody just hanging around at camp and having a good time, not really worried about anything? Because if you don't lose a challenge, you're not going to have to go to tribal. So was losing and being forced to face tribal? Is that the first time that everybody started coming out and talking to people, strategizing and figuring out what to do for the vote? Or has the game been going since day one?
I mean, I do think yesterday really put into focus, that it's not always going to be a team game. It's going to become an individual game at some point. Because the challenge, although it was teams, it was pretty much an individual person challenge. So it definitely started to kick into gear that, this tribe is going to fizzle. But the only hope right now is that we could remain strong, especially if we still have the numbers. I would say there definitely was some chatter, some picking up of the talks.
Yeah, for me, it was like the first day that actual paranoia maybe started to set in for people, at least for me. Before it had been just sort of, we would get together and talk, and it would just be sort of just like a chill out, talk about the challenge, it's all good. And then after the challenge and being faced with tribal, you start getting that paranoia of, well, should I be talking to people? Should I be making a plan?
And then we know that maybe someone has an immunity idol, so that can kind of make you think a little bit too.
Yeah, how prevalent has that been in the conversation? People worried about the potential that the immunity idol is out there?
I think we talked about it early on, but then we kind of put it to rest and forgot about it.
I agree with Rhonda.
Someone's got it on this tribe.
Yeah, there's
Someone
definitely
has
been
the
some.
idol.
There's definitely been some theories getting thrown out as to who might have it.
Connor, what makes you so certain that somebody on this tribe has a hidden immunity idol?
We were openly discussing the clue in the early days of Egnaro, and at a certain point, it was publicly announced that it had been solved. And so someone's got the idol. It's still a mystery as to who. The thing is, there's really only so much you can do to try to figure out who has it or not. It's not like at a certain point you're talking in circles. So if that's the basis of your conversations, you're not really going to make any forward movement, I don't think.
I just wanted to say that the idol to me is when the game started, because that happened right off the bat, and that kind of sent everyone into a frenzy, and we went crazy trying to figure out who had it. And I would say there was even some accusations, but then something happened, and what happened was we started winning at tribals and started finding great team chemistry, and we realized you're not going to need to worry about that immunity idol because we're just going to keep winning. And to this point, it's been the case. So we kind of did put it in the back burner, but it wasn't like a thing we forgot about. It was something we just didn't even need to spend any energy thinking about.
I'd be interested to hear, has there been a lot of one-on-one talk, or are people having a lot of individual conversations, or is it mostly sort of everybody as a group doing things as a tribe up to this point?
I feel like we're talking to each other one-on-one, but maybe it's not so much of a strategy thing, and maybe it's more just like, dang man, it sucks if we have to go to tribal. I love the tribe. It's a lot of just emotions and less like didactic movements for how the game progresses.
We have to remember too, we're still in the early days for Egnaro. There might have been 3 tribal councils, but this is the first time we've had to kind of confront this. And I know you alluded to this earlier, but it is somewhat of a tone shifter for our tribe.
Yeah, I think in general we're all really bummed that we had to come tonight.
Yeah, it's never exciting to go to tribal council.
The only time I'd be happy to go to tribal council is to vote out Harry, and that's been taken from me. So, no, I'm kidding.
You're not going to have a chance to vote out Harry, but you are going to have a chance to cast a vote for somebody on your tribe. And with that, it is time to vote.
I love you all.
I know.
So let's get to it. First one up, Rhonda. Jacob. Mason, you're up. Tim. Connor. And Alex. All right, I'll shuffle the votes. If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you'd like to play it, now would be the time to do so. Once the votes are read, the decision is final and the person voted out will be asked to leave the Zoom call immediately. I'll read the votes. Alex. Alex. Mason. 2 votes Alex, 1 vote Mason. Alex. 3 votes Alex, 1 vote Mason. 4th person voted out a Zoom survivor and the 3rd member of our jury, Alex.
Sorry,
Everybody
buddy.
say goodbye to Alex.
Sorry. Sorry,
Sorry,
buddy.
Alex. Love you, bro.
Love you, brother.
Ooh, he's.
Oh.
Oh.
Egnaro. Never a good time to go to tribal council, but always a good time to find out that everybody's on the same page. I'll send you guys back to camp, and we'll see you at the next immunity challenge. Good night.
All right. Good night.